Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels collector video. Today we're looking at the Datsun 510 Bluebird Wagon. This car features in the Hot Wheels Wagon set for 2023 and is car number 4 out of 5 in that set. It also features in the 2023 P case and also does have a Super Treasure Hunt. That Super Treasure Hunt is going to be very rare and valuable. It's been flying off the pegs and the values are sky high on this car, and I can't see them coming down in the near future. All I can see happening is them going up, since it is a JDM car and there's lots of hype around the JDM cars at the moment, particularly from the Hot Wheels castings, because people just seem to love them, and I can't fault them, to be honest. The castings are absolutely fantastic in my opinion as well. I will also mention where I actually found this car then, so I'm really happy to have found this car because I wasn't expecting to find it, because it's just a Japanese rare car that people are just going to be picking up left, right and centre. Resellers would be all over this thing, I knew they would be. And I actually thought it was going to be kind of like the Godzilla car, which features in the D case. I didn't find any of them either, and I was kind of willing to accept that I wouldn't find any of these. But I did, in a local Smyth toy superstore at the price of £1.69, very fair price here in the UK. One of the lowest prices, and I was really happy to find it at such a good price, especially for such a new recolour of this car. And I really do like this recolour, but we will get into that in just a second. But first of all, let me give you some facts about the real life Datsun 510. So in real life, the best engine available was a 1.6 litre inline 4 engine, which produced 96 horsepower and 100 pound-feet of torque, converted to 136 newton meters of torque. This car also had a 0 to 60 in approximately 8.6 seconds and a top speed of 100 miles per hour, converting to 161 kilometers per hour. This car was also rear-wheel drive, and when it was new, costed $2,305 all the way to $2,655 in 1971. That is the equivalent to $17,500 nowadays, all the way to $20,100 nowadays, and that converts to £14,300, all the way to £16,400. And now this car has a value of about $26,000, and that is the equivalent to £21,250. Anyways, that is it for the facts about this car. Now let's move on to the actual showcase of the Hot Wheels model. Alright, so kicking off this showcase then, we'll first of all take a look at the side of this car. Now I'll first of all mention the wheel choice on this thing. So this car is rolling on the 4-spoke Rally Revolution wheels, which have been painted in white. These wheels are actually brand new for 2023 and debuted on the Alfa Romeo GTV 3 litre. Now onto the actual colour of the rest of the body of this car then. It is all painted in a metallic purple colour. It does have a blue metal flake in the paint, very interesting metal flake colour. It also does actually match up with the window plastic tint. The window plastic has been tinted in a blue colour, matches fantastically with that metal flake as I've just said. Now onto the tamper work for this thing then. So it's all done in white, which is quite interesting. Does match nicely with the wheels. I think this car looks fantastic. The amount of colours that match with each other is great in my opinion. So first of all, near the rear fender and rear quarter panel, we do have this kind of lightning bolt theme going on. Lightning bolts are all tampered in white, as I've already said, and they all point towards the fuel filler cap, which does feature in the metal casting there. We also do have the number 71 featuring in white tampo as well. That actually does have some significance to this car in particular, because this model is the 1971 Datsun 510 Bluebird Wagon. Nice little Easter egg there. We also do have the 510 writing done in white as well. Obviously this is the Datsun 510. That is why that number is there. We also do have the Datsun writing, which has been done in white as well. Again, this car is a Datsun, that's why that features there. And we also do have this interesting heart which features on the side. It has lots of little lines going through it. It kind of has a retro vibe to me. Really cool to see that there. It does add to the aesthetic of this car in my opinion. We also do have the Hot Wheels logo, which has been done in white. Finally, we do have this LW logo. Now, if you don't know what that means, it's actually Leeway's logo, and he is the person who designed all the graphics on this car. I think he did a fantastic job on this thing, looks phenomenal, and that is his logo there, paying some tribute to him and the work he has done on this car. Very, very nice job from him indeed. Finally, onto the actual metal casting on the side of this thing. So first of all, I will mention that the door handle does feature in the metal casting. I've already mentioned that the fuel filler cap does feature here as well. I'll mention that the front and back windows are wound down. And finally, I'll mention that wing mirrors do actually feature on this casting, however they are actually on the hood of the car. Anyways, that is it for the side profile of this car. Now let's move on to the front of this thing. Alright, so taking a look at the front of this car then, we do see some detail in the metal casting. However, there is no tamper work on the front of this car, unfortunately. It is something that we do come to expect with mainline cars. If you do want that full level of detail, they do expect you to buy the premium models of these cars. It is unfortunate, but that's just how the Hot Wheels team is. Yeah, so there you go. But anyways, in the actual metal casting, we do have the headlights as well as the front grille of this car. You could easily add your own details here using Sharpie or acrylic paint. You can also see the indicator lights or turn signal lights also feature in the metal casting. Again, you could easily add your own details using Sharpie or acrylic paint. Maybe it would have been nice to have seen the headlights as well as the front grille featuring from the chrome base plastic, because if you can see on the card art here, it is done in chrome. Hopefully you can see that. It wasn't focusing very well there. But yeah, it's done in chrome on the card art, but isn't on the actual model. I think if it had been done in chrome, it would look a lot more detailed. Speaking of the chrome though, we do see the chrome used on the front splitter of this car, as well as the intercooler on this car. Of course, this thing is not standard. It is slightly modified. Looking at least, it's probably a little bit more modified under the hood. But to look at, it is slightly modified. It does have those quite wide arches and that nice intercooler there. Anyways, that is it for the front of this car. Now let's move on to the next side. Alright, so now onto the next side of this car then. It's pretty much the exact same as the previous. The only difference is there is no fuel filler cap on this side of the car. You can obviously pause the video here and have a look for yourself if you are looking for something specific. If not, I'm not going to bore you here, so let's move straight onto the rear of this thing. Alright, so taking a look at the rear of this car then, there is no tamper work here unfortunately. However, there is a little bit of detail in the metal casting. So first of all, we do have the rear lights. You could easily add your own details using Sharpie or acrylic paint to those little details in the metal casting. You can also see the license plate holder is interestingly created through the chrome base plastic. And this car is only single riveted. That little piece of chrome there actually holds the car together, whilst also acting as a license plate holder. Really cool there, and again you could easily add your own details using something like a permanent sticker on that to represent a license plate. Finally, I'll mention that the rear bumper of this car is actually created through the chrome base plastic, and I will also mention that that chrome base plastic does include the single exit exhaust of this car. Anyways, that is it for the rear of this thing. Now let's move on to the top of this car. Alright, so taking a look at the top of this car then, you will notice that there is quite a decent amount of tamper work here. All done in white once again, but first of all I will mention that the interior of this car has been done in white plastic. Once again, very nice to see that returning of the white colour. It all matches very nicely and it does add to that aesthetic of the car. I'm really pleased with the way this car looks and has turned out. Now onto the actual tamper work. So we do see a decent amount on the roof of this car. So you can see that returning lightning bolt kind of theme there. And all those lightning bolts go to a nice heart, which is the same heart we see on the side of the car. I don't know if that's got any kind of symbolism or if it's just kind of a design cue there. But either way, it looks fantastic. I'll quickly mention that this car does not feature any windshield wipers. That is unfortunate. It's a very small detail missing there. However, it will affect my score at the end because it is a detail that is missing and it does make this car look a little bit less realistic. That will affect my score by about 0.5. Now taking a look at the hood of this car then, you will notice that I've actually just flipped the car around, and that is because the writing would be upside down the other way, so I thought I might as well show you the writing the right way around. So first of all, I will mention that returning lightning bolt theme here. We also do see this nice white circle, which is actually two different circles. One with a thicker line on the inside and one with a thinner line on the outside, all done in white tempo. Then we do have the Hot Wheels logo, which has been done in white, very similar to the side logo. And then we do have the 510 logo, once again returning in white. And just below that 510 logo, we do have some Japanese, or what I believe to be Japanese writing. And that does translate to Hot Wheels. I will also mention that there are a few things in the actual metal casting here. So first of all, I've already mentioned that the wing mirrors feature here. You can see them a little bit better from this angle though. And I will also mention that there are a few vents near the windshield of this car featuring in the metal casting as well. You can see that the hood also does have a slight indentation there as well. Anyways, that is it for the top of this thing. That is also it for the showcase of this car. So now let's move on to my final thoughts and review on this thing. Alright, so now it's time for my final thoughts and review on this car. I really do like this casting. It's actually not a new casting at all. First debuting in about 2013. it really does hold up to today. It just looks fantastic, and you could tell me that this is a brand new casting and I would believe you. It's very realistic, looks fantastic. I love the subtle customizations that they've done to it with that nice front intercooler. It just looks very mean and aggressive whilst also looking fantastic. It looks really clean as well. I do like this colour on this car, I think it looks great, and I also really do like the tamper work. I feel like it's going to have mixed opinions. You're going to either love it or hate it, but I'm a big fan. I also do like the fact that this casting does have wing mirrors. It's always a great thing to see. It adds a lot more detail to the car in my opinion. I also do like the windows being wound down. I think it does add some kind of aesthetic look to it. For some reason I do like it when the Hot Wheels cars do have their front windows down, but it's interesting to see the rear windows on this car also wound down. It's definitely not every day that we see that. The white interior also looks fantastic. Love the use of the chrome based plastic as well to create the front splitter as well as the rear bumper. It's all just very well done. I also really do like the wheel choice on this thing as well, using the new wheels which just debuted this year. Again, they look fantastic, and I do think that these wheels will be used on a lot more JDM cars to come in the future. But anyways, now it's time for my final score out of 10. So when I move this car out of 10, it's going to be receiving a very, very solid 9.5 out of 10. The only thing I don't like about this car is it doesn't have any windshield wipers. If it did have those windshield wipers, it would easily be a 10 out of 10. But to keep these rankings fair, I'm going to knock some of that score off. I personally love this thing, but without those being there, it's not fair against other cars to give it a 10 out of 10. Anyways, that is it for this video. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and you can also press that notification bell so you're not missing new uploads. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or any groups who may be interested. But remember, don't feel pressured if you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested. You watching this video all the way to the end means so much to me, and I really do thank you for making it all the way up until this point. But anyways, that is it for this video, so I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye everyone.